All right, we're recording.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Well, you guys can't really, say anything to me, but Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good these days. How about you, Fred?
Oh man, just surviving. Got my Pfizer COVID shot last week, so I'm feeling like a super soldier.
Exactly. that 5G gonna activate soon, bro. we all gonna be hot. We all gonna be hotspots in a few months. I'm telling you.
I swear, free internet right in my arm. Free
Exactly. I
internet
still
right in my
still
arm.
haven't developed my superpowers yet. I'm hoping for shape shifting, but I'll settle for like teleportation or like pyrokinesis or some
I
shit like
was
that.
gonna settle for that too, or like be like the Human Torch. But I thought about that also. I don't want my clothes and shoes getting burnt up, and you know how I feel about that. So
Exactly.
I settle for teleportation too.
Yeah, that's why I said pyrokinesis, where like I can make that shit like come out my hands rather than just like setting me on fire.
Oh yeah, flame on. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not gonna work for me.
that's not it. That's not the move.
Got my new shit on, my Yeezys on, and some shit, and just boom, it's burnt. So nah.
Yeah.
But speaking of superheroes, bro, how did you feel about Invincible?
Right. We're gonna talk about a little show called Invincible today.
Yeah,
Ooh, boy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that show. So my uncle told me to watch this show, and at first when I saw like the trailers and like those watching the first episode, I thought, okay, this is gonna be kind of interesting. It's gonna be sort of like maybe an episode of like it's gonna be sort of like a series, maybe like the Justice League or the Batman animated series. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But like I
Yeah.
don't know. My uncle's just like, you really need to watch this. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I like superheroes, but I don't see what the appeal is. And then the end of episode one happens. So I'm just like, oh, so that's what we're doing. All right, you got me hooked.
Bro,
So
my little cousin got me watching that because at first I saw like the trailer like on Amazon Prime or whatever, and I'm like, what is this bootleg superhero bull? I'm like, bro, I want to see this. But then I saw the end of the last episode like you did too, and I was like, oh no, oh all right, Belvin, this is horrible.
it's horrible. I guess I gotta watch the next episode. Huh?
At first you had my attention, but now you have my interest because
Yeah,
for
exactly.
real though, bro, for real. With that, how did you feel about the first episode?
So I think the first episode was really one of the great, or a really great way to open up a series, and I think it's a great way to hook you into the rest of the season.
Okay,
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the synopsis, and then we can talk about that first episode because you
okay,
really can't talk about this show a lot without spoiling it. So I think we just go through the synopsis, and then we'll talk about how we feel about the episode and everything in
okay,
general.
okay.
All right, cool. All right, so the synopsis for the first episode. So when hulking villainous scientists, the Mahler twins, attack the White House, they're repelled by the Guardians of the Globe. It's essentially this universe's version of like the Justice League,
Yeah, fake
and then
Justice League, yeah.
Nolan Grayson is Omni Man, which is again this like universe's version of like Superman. So Nolan's son Mark, who is waiting for his powers to emerge, goes to school and defends a classmate Amber Bennett from school bully Todd. After Todd punches Mark to the ground, Amber saves the latter and develops an interest in him. Later, Mark's superpowers finally emerge as he finishes work to tell his parents at dinner. While Nolan is initially uncertain, he begins to train Mark on how to use his powers. However, wishing to emphasize the severity of being a superhero, Mark is caught off guard by his father punching him too hard. Feeling hurt emotionally and physically, Mark blows off steam by stopping a robbery in a homemade suit. And after a heart-to-heart with his father, Nolan takes Mark to a superhero suit tailor, Art Rosenbaum, played by Mark Hamill, he did a
Good
great
dope.
job at that. Also, yeah, Omni Man is played by J.K. Simmons. Mark is played by Stephen Young. They have some really great all-star casting talent, but we'll probably get into that a little bit later. Afterwards, so yeah, Art creates a proper superhero for Mark, and he chooses to call himself Invincible, complete with that really great title and all.
Yeah.
So later, what happens? The main hook of the show, which is what's gotten everyone talking about it, or at least that first episode, is that later Nolan calls all the Guardians to their HQ to trap them, and then kills them all before falling unconscious due to the pushback and the resistance that they gave him. So pretty much, he just wiped out the entire Justice League, not effortlessly because they nearly killed him, but like he fucked these motherfuckers up really bad. Like I have never seen brutal like superhero violence like this since like Injustice or like The Boys. Like this popped the fuck off.
I can't really say. Well, I can say Injustice. Definitely The Boys. but
Mhm.
the way he did them dirty, bro, that was
This was even this is honestly even more fucked up than The Boys.
yeah, because that was, oh my god, I'm gonna have to drop a clip in here from that, because that's oh no.
Exactly. No, we're definitely gonna be splicing together some footage as we're like talking through with this. But yeah, like I said before, my thoughts on this overall was I thought this was gonna be a decent, like, fun little series like the Justice League animated series, and I thought it would be kind of entertaining. I'm like, okay, this is kind of up my alley. I'm looking to watch a decent show right now. I really didn't know what else to watch. But yeah, as soon as Omni-Man like pops Red Rush's head like a fucking pimple, and like that shit just explodes everywhere, I'm like, oh, so this is gonna be a completely different show than what I would thought it would be, and
completely different, bro. Completely different.
I think that first episode is a really great opener to the show because it gives you not only a twist villain right off the bat, which but it leaves you with a hook that keeps you like, as soon as you see the episode, you're just like, all right, well, now I got to see what the fuck happens next. You just like, okay, so like, because I think the first episode is a good job of like establishing the world and like building everything. Like, you're pretty much told like superhero, like, this is a world full of superheroes with a bunch of like different kind of futuristic technology, not too far futuristic, but like, especially with like the GD, I think like the GDE or like whatever that government organization that Cecil heads is called.
I thought you meant like GD period. I was about to say I know GD was in Invincible, but it was like
but yeah, so like it pretty much goes with like, it shows you like it's like confident with like its own like world building, and like it builds up a bunch of these really good characters and all and some of their motivations, especially establishing Mark and his family, and then ending it with Nolan brutalizing and just murdering all of the Guardians of the Globe, and then everyone like not knowing what's going to happen, is a great way to keep the audience not only engaged but wanting to see what happens next, because they're just like, well, when's everyone going to figure this out? What are the ramifications if they figure it out? What's Nolan actually up to? So it's definitely a great opener to the season, and it really keeps you engaged and wanting to watch the rest of it, which is why I think the show really got put on the map, was that first episode. And I always, a lot of people will say, and I tend to agree with this, that the first episode of a show is really important because you have to get that first episode right in order to get people to watch.
That's what everything.
Yeah. Some series, some series can be great with a kind of a slow opening, but I feel like if you definitely have a much like richer, more engaging opening act, you definitely keep your audience engaged a lot more with the show. So I think that first episode was really great. It's like a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, I'm like, I am so glad I was recommended to watch that show, because after that I was hooked. I was watching that shit every single Friday right after that.
Yeah, because like, it wasn't just, I know some shows like lean on one thing more than the other, or like they're like focus on one thing more than they focus on another thing, so it's unbalanced. But the one thing I like about Invincible a whole lot is that it's a good plot, the characters are good, the voice acting is like spectacular.
Oh my god, yes.
The action, I mean, what more can you ask for with a good show? You got a good story, you feel for the characters, because I hate watching like animes and movies where it's the main character and I'm like, bro, I don't care, like I don't give a fuck about this character, but I care about Mark. I relate to him, bro.
Exactly.
And in some ways, Omni-Man too, and like a whole lot of the other characters, like what's his wife, his mom's name? Betty.
Debbie. Yeah.
Debbie. Yeah, I felt for her too. So yeah, Invincible did a real good job with that, bro.
I definitely feel that for sure. Like again, going back to the cast, like this is like a really great performances. Like Sandra Oh is Debbie, J.K. Simmons is Omni-Man, Stephen Young is Mark. We mentioned like Mark Hamill before being Art Rosenbaum. There's a bunch of other really great star talent, and it really elevates the show up a different level with like how their performances go. So I really think that does a really good job for that.
I agree, bro. I definitely agree.